Chelsea 1, Sunderland 2, a shocker, a last-minute winner from the Black Cats puts them second in the Premier League for Sunderland after what has been a fantastic start to this Premier League campaign for them. But for Chelsea, after such a good run of late, so many wins, so many dominant performances, starting today with a thunderbolt of a goal from Alejandro Garnacho, far more of the ball and possession in this game, well over 60% for large parts of it. When you look at the statistics, actually 69% of the ball in the game, 16 shots, 7 on target. But the conversion rate, another team this season succumbing to not converting their chances. And right at the end, a huge long ball over the top that puts in Brian Robbie, who holds it up well, and Chelsea just don't get back. They seem to have the ball in the box for an eternity. It's played back to Talby, and bang, in the bottom corner, disguises his shot behind the defender. And it's a massive 3 points, a gargantuan 3 points, an epic 3 points for the Black Cats, who, as I say, go second in the Premier League table. Chelsea were second when that Garnacho goal went in. Chelsea dropped down to 7th, and depending on results, you know, if either Brighton or Man United win at 5:30, they'll drop further down. If Crystal Palace win this weekend, they drop further down. Newcastle obviously closing that gap. Chelsea could end this weekend, I was looking at the points now, somewhere in the region of about 9th to 10th in the league, which will be frustrating for them, there's no doubt about it, because this is one of the gimmies. When you're a team that's meant to be finishing in the top 4, when you're a team that's meant to be in the title race, or at least meant to be pushing towards those levels, these are the kind of games that are the gimmies. The newly promoted teams, in fact, most of your home games should be seen as highly winnable. And I know Chelsea fans will be hugely disappointed in their performance tonight. Or this afternoon, tonight, wherever you're watching around the world, I was frustrated. On your behalf, I was frustrated. A game that it was like watching sand slip through somebody's fingers. And actually, there was always the sense, always the feeling, always the view that this could happen. And it did. But of course, look, I want to get your reaction. I want your thoughts and opinions. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Chelsea massively. The last 3 or 4 Premier League games, you've looked dangerous. You absolutely obliterated Nottingham Forest. You were amazing against Liverpool. You were brilliant in your Champions League games. There really seemed to have been a kind of corner turned. And then you lose today. And look, maybe some people are overreacting. Maybe some people are not looking at enough. That is 3 defeats in your last 5 Premier League games now, and one that wasn't expected. But we want your thoughts and want your opinions here. This comment put up on the screen now says, imagine if Chelsea could utilize set pieces and not just take every short corner. No wonder they hate Arsenal for scoring corners. Well, Chelsea are actually joint top in the Premier League with Arsenal when it comes to corners, to be honest with you. These Chelsea bums beat Liverpool, started running their mouths again, and are immediately humbled. Chelsea are not good enough to compete with this squad. I do think the squad's good enough. I do. They just had a bad day. Again, people are going to think I'm defending Chelsea, and that's your opinions. You can have that. I just feel it was a really bad day. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. Terry, we expected them to lose at least 1 or 2 games. Come on. I don't expect Chelsea to lose at home to Sunderland. I know Sunderland is second in the league. I know that this start to their Premier League campaign has been amazing, but I still expect Chelsea to win today. I still expect them to do it. With the ball, the territory, it's the opportunities they had. It's where they had the ball. And the one thing I would say about this game is although Chelsea had more shots, they didn't create better chances. The eye test proves it. The XG proves it. And equally, Sunderland had 3 or 4 opportunities in the second half that didn't amount to a shot. For instance, Xhaka's opportunity. I don't even think Xhaka's opportunity, because it's blocked. If it's blocked in close, I don't actually think it counts as a shot. No, it doesn't. I'm just gone back and look now. It doesn't count as a shot. So it doesn't give you any XG. When a shot is basically blocked within like half a yard or so of the defender, they don't count it. There's all those opportunities in there. So I'm not saying you should write Chelsea off. What I am saying is that Chelsea fans will be and should be disappointed with today. There's no doubt. There is no doubt. Ashley says Toon. Yeah, Toonami with a massive win. A huge win indeed for them today. Terry loves London clubs. I support Man United. Terry, really bad day equals inconsistent. Therefore, where's that comment gone? It's moved off my screen. Therefore, not good enough. Today, certainly not good enough. I don't take back anything I've said in the last 3 or 4 matches for Chelsea. They were very good in those games, but today, overall poor. You know, I want to focus on Garnacho for a moment. Garnacho today, first 5 minutes, brilliant. And then just got worse and worse as the game went on. For Enzo Fernandez today, as an example, decent touch, but again, just drifting in and out of the game. Pedro Neto, it was all fur coat and no knickers today. There was sort of nothing of any substance of what he did. And even the manager, and I've defended Enzo a few times. He starts with, by the way, it shows that when they sometimes have problems creating clear-cut chances, it isn't just without a number 9. They started with Guiu today. But I just thought he was really poor. But the standout poor performer for me, who I want to speak on before I bring my panel out, and that for me was João Pedro today. I mean, João Pedro with another game where he had no shots on goal. There was only 1 chance created. Poor. I mean, he had a lot of the ball, 30 touches, but almost nothing created with it whatsoever. And I know it was given as offside, but it was that moment where the ball came through to him with great pressure from Caicedo. And the ball ends up at his feet. And God saved him by making him offside, because how are you going to explain that? Now, João Pedro had an amazing start to life at Chelsea and deserved every single bit of credit that he got. But the last 5-6 games, a lot of people have been defending him with, well, he's been playing as the striker, he's been playing here, playing there. The man isn't getting shots on goal. Number 9, number 10, number 9.5 or not. This Chelsea team has too much of the ball, too many openings, too many opportunities. He's not creating chances and he's not scoring goals. Hold-up play isn't particularly great. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but I thought João Pedro today was just so poor, so below the standard needed. You know, and as I mentioned earlier, well, I felt similar with Guiu today. I mean, he had 2 shots in the game. But again, Chelsea have been screaming for him to play. There's a reason he went out on loan. And I don't mean it rudely. He is just not of the level. And I think you saw that today from him as well. And I also want to speak Pedro Neto, because I rate Pedro Neto. And he did get the assist for the goal. And it was a very good pass. But outside of that, so his rating number goes up. But actually, when you break down the rest of his game, no shots on goal, nothing else created, barring that key pass and assist in the opening 3 minutes. Nothing else created throughout the whole game. You can see that on the screen right now. And as much as Enzo Maresca will probably get a lot of the stick, individual players today in that attack were nowhere near the standard that Chelsea require and that Chelsea need. They just weren't. And the one player, when he came on, and I'm talking attacking here, because by the way, I know they conceded late, but I actually thought that Achimpong played well today. Reece James, his normal brilliant self. Caicedo did his job magnificently in my view. But I saw Esteval come on. And Esteval was only on the pitch for 32 minutes. 19 touches of the ball compared to the 30 touches that João Pedro mentioned. Created a chance in that time. Had a shot that just deflected wide. Was making some really good runs. This was probably Enzo Maresca's biggest mistake today. This young man should have started the game. Massive mistake indeed from him. There's no doubt about that. But look, I want your views. I want your opinions. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you feel in our comment section below. I'm bringing on Kojo, Andrew Barnes, Kwess, and Judge Mo in a few moments' time. We'll be bringing them through to have their say. Thank you, Luke, for encouraging everybody to hit the like button today. And no Chelsea fans, you're not happy, but please still support the Football Terrace if you'd be so kind. Everyone needs to look at their teams and shut the fuck up. Too busy looking at who is good, who Chelsea are better than. Or look, I'm not even digging Chelsea out here. We're just reviewing games. Irrespective of how good or bad somebody else's football team is, doesn't mean they can't have critical conversations about other teams. The only time you're right is if they're throwing glass stones if they're throwing stones in glass houses, you know, let ye who has not sinned be the one to cast the first stone is my message to you, my friend. It's okay to criticize other people's teams. The same, it's okay for Chelsea fans to call out United if we're bad today and if we lose, which is likely in many people's eyes. You guys losing today doesn't take away your right to speak football. I'm never going to advocate that message. Granit Xhaka, signing of the season. What a captain. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic today. Unlucky not to get a goal as well, but overall very, very good. 2 billion down the drain. The pride of London lose again, is what Finn says here. Don said it was because of red cards they lost. Joker. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't think Ches or Don's going to be on. They'll be busy. They'll be out. They'll be with friends. They'll be too busy doing their own thing. They won't be showing their faces. Ches ain't been on for weeks. Don will wait till next Friday. That's when he'll come on. Might be double digits off first by... Sorry, might be double digits off first by week 10 deep it. You've got to break that down for me, bro. I don't quite understand it. Well played, Sunderland. Fully deserved. That is from Mike. Big up yourself, Mike, who's a Chelsea fan with the 7-month member chat. And yeah, they did deserve it today. Chelsea had more of the ball, but I do feel that Sunderland had the more dangerous chances. I do feel that Sunderland were the better team in certain areas, and they got it late. And you know what? If you could time when to score away at Chelsea, it's with a couple of minutes to go. You know, I think maybe if Sunderland take that lead early in the second half, Chelsea might have got an equaliser. It was perfect from them. Kenny says, if not for red cards, we'd be top, they said. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, I mean, look, I'd never agree with that. It's time to wrap the project up, Don. Is that something Don has said, or is that you calling Don out? I'd love to know. Garrett here says, I do not think for 1 second that Granit Xhaka Sunderland doesn't have something special planned for Newcastle this season. Oh, right, because he history. For a second, I was like, I don't get the relevance, and then I remember he's the player that got elbowed. Right there, we go. Right, I'm gonna bring the panel out because we are going to run out of time due to the. Why didn't they make a 12:30 game today? And then had a break before the next big game, and we could have a nice discussion, a long discussion on this, but. We'll be back, Straight Facts and Top 6 show on Monday, where we can delve into it in more detail. But let me bring my panel out now to have their say as they're waiting behind the scenes. Let me just change everything over. We've got Kojo, Kwess, we've got Mo, we've got Andrew, and Winter Surfer on the show. Thanks for coming on, gents. I'm going to go to you first, Kojo. A shocking defeat in the end, in the last minute to Sunderland. Break it down for me. What went wrong, in your opinion, today?
Hey man, shout out to you, Tez. Look, I'll be honest with you, I'm not that mad, you know. I know it sounds crazy, I'm not that mad. Because yeah, you can make that face if you want to make that face. I'm not that mad because again, I've set my stall up in a place where I understand that this team is going to be inconsistent. Okay. I've said it from the very beginning of the season, just like I said about your defense earlier on at Liverpool, is that this team lacks the mentality. It's not the players themselves, it's a mentality. And they don't have a defensive mindset. So when they're defending, they don't defend very well as a team. It leaves it to individuals. This game is unfortunate, but it's one of those games where if Chelsea don't learn how to start changing their mindset, we're going to lose a lot more games like this, where it's like the last few minutes, you've got to understand that. I get it. We were pushing, right? But the two players who are left back lack pace, and the person who's up front is strong. He ain't no joke, right? At that point, there has to be someone who's going to take a leadership role, say, hey, one of us got to stay back, who's got a bit more pace to just catch up with this person. Because if you don't, we're going to have a bit of trouble here, right? Now, of course, that's post-analysis or everything. I think this game, we lacked clear-cut chances. We went back. The first half, we were actually all right, you know. The first half was good. We were moving the ball with speed. I said, Maresca, well done. I don't know what you did, but thank God you started telling him to move the ball with speed. Did everything right. Then the second half, unfortunately with that, what happened is that, you know, when you play football and you're toothless up front, your defense also suffers because you add a lot more pressure. Sunderland were not fearful of our attack because it was the same thing over and over again. I'm glad we're crossing the ball in more, but if you're going to cross the ball in, you're going to need people who can header the ball. You know what I'm saying to you? If you're going to cross that ball in, you got to work with the kind of strikers you have up front, which is Mark Guy. He's not going to be winning headers against big boys. So you got to cross the ball low to make sure that he's getting across the defender. We're not doing that. So again, we're just spamming balls, which I want to see more crosses. I do. But I'm saying, like, if you're going to do that, then you have to be tactically aware. Mark Gu's up front. He's a shorter player. Zip the ball at the front of the defender. Make sure he's getting across. If we're going to have João Pedro up front, then you can kick the ball a bit more high because he can head the ball. He's a tall lad. I think it just, again, once more, I think Maresca needs to go back to the drawing board, get these boys on a game plan A, game plan B, game plan C, because you need another game plan when the game is not going the way it's meant to be going. Look, it's a bad day in the office, man. Listen, chalk it up, move on, bro. Because we've won the last few games. Chalk it up, move on. I know the Liverpool fan in the corner there is literally eating over there in the corner because he wants to be able to talk about Chelsea because he loves us more than he loves his club. But it's a bad day in the club. That's all it is. Bad day in the office.
I hear you. Winter Surfer, do you feel the same?
Yeah.
Are you not so bothered, or you seem a little bit more frustrated looking at you sitting there, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree. No matter what you think about where your team's going to finish overall, you can't be mad at single games. I don't get that. Why you're not mad? Today was second half was a shit show. Passive in passing, passive in urgency, just the side to side, crossing it in with no idea what to do. It was simply just a complete opposite of Wednesday. I know it was against 10 men or anything, but I'm mad in the point of I can take single games out of a season and look at it like that. You should be mad at today's game. You know, we're coming off a good run. Sunderland were well drilled. I've got to give up to Sunderland. Sunderland deserved it. They were better than us. Sunderland deserved it, no matter what people say. They were well drilled. You know, it's up to Maresca. You know, we've been praising him last few weeks. Maresca coming on. He's got to start playing Esteval from the start. You know, he's got to start whether he's going to play him as the 10, whether he's going to play, you know, João Pedro. What was that? João Pedro was a shadow today. Absolute shadow, first and second half. Should have been taken out, maybe even at half time. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I understand. I'm with Kojo, and like overall, I don't expect us to be in, I never said we were going to be in a title race or anything like that. I just was the way we're built or something like that. But you would have thought we're in a bit of a run, we'll get momentum going, but the crosses into the box is fine, but you've got to know when to choose those crosses as well, or else you might as well just boot the ball up you might as well just tell the defence just to boot the ball up and just go long ball if you're going to start crossing in like that. It was just very, very frustrating today. We're on a good run. You know, I'm all for the fact, you know, if we didn't even make the goalie make a save. Do you know what I mean? This goalie's not. I don't mind if the goalie's had a worldie against my team. I can at least go. I could say, yeah, the goalie was just out of this world. He's not. He barely get a 5 in ratings in some papers tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? He was just. It's just very frustrating. Do you know what I mean? Just overall, just one of those games where you're going, all right, and then at the end, just keep it fine. Just take the point. Just take the point, and then we'll build on it. At least we can do something. And I don't know what Chalobah was doing for who he was marking for that goal right at the end. He seemed, you know, we had the guy. Was he going up against Tosin? Was it Tosin was marking the guy, right? Chalobah was there. I don't know who was. Just complete. I'm just so frustrated, and I know they're young and everything like that, and it's always going to happen. But it's just you know, it's just a chance to build momentum, keep it going, and it's just literally one step forward, 2 steps back, and it's just frustration. I know they're young and everything like that. I'm just frustrated with this game. I know the overall season. I know I'm going to get more games. By the way, I know I'm going to get more games like this season. I know it's going to happen more times. Yeah. I'm just singling it out. It's just frustrating. That's all. It's just one of those where you go that sort of game brings you back sort of bit down more to reality. Do you know what I mean? After the run, just to go, this is what we are. Just when we're on a bit of a run, it's just
one thing I've noticed. You know, when I said the other day, I can tell even with these wins, there are Chelsea fans that are not. I can always tell when Chelsea fans, by and large, are bought into what's happening. I can tell by the reaction shows in terms of the excitement, the playing it down, the emptiness of them, the fullness of them. You can always kind of tell when there's I've got a good feeling, and this result happens, and it kind of a reflection of that. Andrew Barnes, you've said in the chat that this is on Maresca. You blame Maresca for today. You're on mute. I can't hear you, bro. You've got something muted. Maybe a mixer. I'll come back to you in a sec, bro. I can't hear you. You're not muted on StreamYard. It's just the sound's not coming through. Are you plugged in? Have you plugged your mic in? You keep talking. I can't hear you. Try coming out and coming back in. We'll get you back on in a second, brother. Kwess.
Relax, though. Relax.
I didn't say nothing.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say something. That's why I thought he was gonna cook me straight away. So I was like, all right, just let me land. Do you know what?
My team hasn't played yet this weekend. I don't do cooking because I wait till my team to play. Yeah.
Fairs. No. Do you know what? I'm probably in the middle of Kojo and Surf, man. I feel like what was most frustrating today was I actually feel like first half we were good. We were cooking something up. And actually, this was the first game for me where I actually fully understood why Maresca does what he does in the first half, because I could see that breaking away and having a basketball game wasn't going to work in our favor against a team that was willing to defend so deep. So what we ironically had to do was build up in the middle and get them to try and come out, which we managed to do with the Garnacho goal, which is why I actually was so positive after the Garnacho goal. I said, wow, this is Maresca's system working at its best. But Surf is right. Come second half, it's like I'm watching it live, and I'm probably more frustrated because I played a game this morning and we drew 2-2, right? And we won 5-2 last week. So I feel the same frustration because we got a bunch of young boys, and it is this thing of the mentality being, if you're working with a Lampard, a Ballack, a Drogba, and all these people, yeah, they're at a point in their career where they understand. Part of it is I've got a job to do. It's not about how I feel. It's not about what I want. It's I've got a job to do. So you come to this game and you go, 3 points on the line. We have to get 3 points regardless. But you could just see going into the second half, we're doing what Maresca's asking us to do, which is to keep control. But because we're going side to side, it wasn't even like we didn't have a clue. We did have a clue, but the point is it wasn't working. So whatever clue we had, it wasn't a clue enough. We're trying to spam balls into the box, but we're only spamming balls into the box after 5 or 6 passes back and forth. Pedro Neto today, oh gosh, I actually do love this guy, but he might be a real big problem for us. Because he blows too hot and cold. And for me, the real breakdown was with the wingers. Garnacho wasn't doing enough second half. Gittens came on, and I don't think we gave him enough opportunities to get at his man, and he also didn't do it when he did have the chance. And Neto was just providing nothing. Listen, if you on the right hand side, really? You get your man one-on-one. Really? Yeah. No, don't worry. Really, ×2. When you get on the right wing, yeah, and you size up your fullback and you try to beat him down the line, and he stops you from doing that 3 times. Do you know what you stop doing? You stop trying to go down the line. You start checking back onto your left and you cross it. Okay, well, if you don't, you have what we had today, David, don't you? Where you have frustration and then them having a breakaway goal.
Wait, hang on, I'm confused because we had a go at Sancho. We had a go at Sancho for this exact thing last year where he wouldn't beat his man, and then he cut back, and we would be sat there going like, "Why are you not trying to beat your man?"
Right. So if you, I'm not being rude here, but if you heard what I said, yeah, is if you try to beat your fullback 3 times and it doesn't work, you change the plan, and that's what Surf is saying. What are you talking? What?
I think if you try and beat him 3 times and then you stop trying to beat him, then you're creating another problem. You've got to have the option to do both. I understand doing it sometimes,
right, but he wasn't doing both. That's my issue.
You can't take it out of the game. I thought out of the wingers today, Neto was the best one. Garnacho scored, but he was actually poor. Like he was very poor. Gittens came on and did nothing, and Esteval had little burst, but it was 20 minutes.
Yeah, he was mean.
Out of the wingers today, Neto was the one that was providing the most threat out of all of them. So I'm confused.
But do you know what the problem is with Neto? Do you know what the problem is with Neto? We give Neto too much credit for looking dangerous. If you can actually remember 2 or 3 clear-cut chances that he created, I will give you that about Neto. And I love Neto, so I want to back him, but I have to hold him to account today because I've seen him do this in a couple of games now. And I'm going, I don't know why he doesn't get the same disrespect that we used to give to Madueke, or he doesn't get the same disrespect as I gave to Gittens. Because really,
that's because of his work rate.
You said what?
That's because of his work rate. Like, that's why.
Okay, so I backed the work rate, but the work rate didn't do anything for us today. That's the problem. And this is what I'm saying about Neto. I hear it, yeah, but actually you failed to beat your fullback 3 times. Stop it now. Stop trying to beat him. He's clearly got your number. Switch it up. I'm not saying you can't go back to it eventually later in the game, but what you have to do is understand it's not working right now. And I think Kojo said it, part of the bigger issue was going forward, Guiu, right, is so good at making runs off the ball to take defenders away. But what he's not good at is being a problem, a hassle. He's not good at pushing his defender, getting in there and wrestling and causing defenders to have to head it out. And he's not good at that. So for me, when we were going forward, it became toothless because our two biggest attacking threats, which were probably Guiu and Neto, they weren't able to do the same thing they were doing in the first half. At least that was what I felt I saw today.
I hear that, Kwess. I'm going to go to Andrew in a minute, but Mo's here with us. Obviously, Mo's a neutral to this. He saw this as a complete outsider, not even a kind of Premier League bias to throw into
neutral.
it. Mo's
He's into
strong
it.
word. A strong word for Mo.
I love Mo, man.
I'm watching my team play Napoli for top of the league, but anyway, I'm just gonna say a couple of things about Chelsea quickly. I think the problem today was the quality. Against low blocks, it showed against Crystal Palace, it showed against today. Because Enzo Maresca had a clear plan playing for Chelsea, which is make late runs by Enzo Fernandez or Cucurella to free the winger. That's why Neto had tons of opportunities to try to take on his man, to try to cross. And he actually, my problem with Maresca today when I'm watching the game is like, okay, you got the ball to the winger, but who is he crossing to? Right? Is he crossing to Guiu? He's like, Guiu is not going to win headers against the Sunderland Giants, right in the center of the 18, like in the 18. So the problem is he had the plan, but the plan is wrong because Garnacho first of all, Garnacho is trash. Let's establish something, right? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to explain to you why, guys. Garnacho scored today when there was space for him to dribble, to do the step over, right? For Chelsea Football Club and the way Maresca wants to play, Chelsea are not going to face this situation often. That's the same for Elanga, for example. Elanga is very good if you had 30, 40 yards to run into a defender with 20 yards space. But Chelsea, normally, with dominant position, you won't get, which is what happened after the goal, you won't get spaces like what he did, right? That's why he looked so meaty after you scored. Why? And after they scored, because Sunderland sat back and said, you know what, try to break us down. Every time Garnacho got the ball, what does he do? He's taking the ball to the byline and provided nothing. Taking it back, like passing it back, not even to dribble, you know? So I am not going to judge Garnacho, or I'm not going to judge a Chelsea player if there is spaces. Why? Because 90% of your games, you'll face low blocks. That's why Chelsea are a bigger team, and there is a smaller teams that will face Chelsea, especially at Stamford Bridge. Neto, on the other hand, which is I agree with Kojo here, he's like, you know what, you're taking on your man, it didn't work. Try something else. I agree with this, you know what I mean? But in the same time, it's Maresca's instructions. Cross. That's why, by the way, today, you see Neto every time, get a left foot, put it in the box. Put it in the box. Far post. Hope someone would run. I think Chelsea didn't win today. Loss or a draw, similar for Chelsea, a point or no points. It's a quality issue. That's why when I was talking to David yesterday, and I'm like, the quality of Chelsea front line without a Cole Palmer, maybe without a Delap, when Joao Pedro is not firing, is lacking massively, by the way, because Terry was saying it in the monologue before. You get in the right places, right? But you're not creating a chance. It's an opportunity to make things happen, but you're not making a chance. You're not creating the clear-cut chance. That's why the quality comes in. You don't have that quality. Garnacho's not quality. Neto's good, hot and cold. One game, very good. And the other game is like, well, you're kind of crossing to nobody, bro. You're putting your head down and just putting it in the box. And then you're hoping for the best, basically, right? Enzo Fernandez was not good today because his role is diminished again to go to the right side and be... And that, again, we saw that in the beginning of the season with Enzo Fernandez. He's a central midfielder that crashes the box and play in the pockets, in the around, not on the right side, not doing overlaps with Neto. That's not your job. That's Reece James's job. It's a quiet central midfielder doing the overlap. That's what I saw today is a lack of quality, not a lack of planning. It's a lack of quality. Yeah, having Guiu up front, bro.
I hear a lot of that. Andrew, you were going to say before your mic cut off that you look at Maresca as the issue today. Why are you seeing it differently from Mo? Why are you blaming this on the manager today?
No, I don't see it differently from Mo because of what he just said in terms of like the instructions from the manager. Firstly, the lineup that you pick, okay? We saw that, okay, with a weaker team, you beat Ajax, okay, 10-man Ajax, all of that is okay. Now you come here, the Premier League, the quality is different. we can see that a championship side has come in and is giving you a hard time because it's a physically demanding league. Got it. So then you pick the right kind of people. And for me, I don't understand the substitutes. The thing is, see, we are always as Chelsea fans saying, hey, make some changes, but don't change your front line so much in like a span of 15 minutes that these guys have moved position twice in a span of 15 minutes where they don't know what they're doing. Okay, because it starts to get confusing for the players. They're young guys. Kojo said this. It's a mentality thing. You need to keep them settled a bit. Okay, we need to say, hey, like calm down. We're Chelsea. We're playing at home. The crowd is backing us. We got to move the ball a little bit quicker, and we will get that goal. If we did it against Liverpool in the 95th minute, we can easily do it here. But this mentality is missing, and that's why, as much as I love Reece James, as a player, as a captain, sometimes I feel that there's no urgency. And for me, what I get so frustrated, and this I disagree with Andrew, is that I am very frustrated. I think Andrew said he's frustrated as well. I'm very frustrated about losing this game because of who we are. We played at home against Sunderland. So I think that making Uncle Tos, whatever, like come in and play instead of Achampong was, as soon as I saw him, because when Achampong stopped that Xhaka, like that goal, like when he stopped that, I was like, if Tosin was there, we would have conceded then. Easy. There's no okay, because Tosin would have showed him on the side that he's strong and he would have let him score. So I was like, no, just keep Tosin on. And just keep Achampong on. And as soon as I saw Tosin on, I said it in my head. I was like, if we concede a goal because of this guy, I'm going to lose it. And it was that. He's just standing there with the defender. I get Chalobah was like free, but he's just standing there in the box with the defender because he's not fast, because he's not going to make the right decision. Like, show him on the other side. So let him take the shot from a difficult corner and then put it on Sanchez. The keeper needs to stop it from his close range. But then he waited. The guy came. It was so frustrating to see. And I don't want my team to lose. I would have been okay with the 1 point because we lack the quality to like do something against the low block. And I said something, and I'm going to stick by this. I know Garnacho was trash, but Garnacho has these moments, right? Like, he's that confidence player. So even if you had to keep him on, don't change his position. Something could have happened, because if Estevao came on, something could have happened. And I will stick by that, because I saw Garnacho do stuff for United where United's completely like not doing anything, and then in a moment he'll do something.
He can do something.
Especially if he scored a goal, he has the confidence. I think he should have stayed on. I think the substitutions were bad. I think the lineup was not good in the first place. Estevao needs to start for us. And I really think the instructions, when I saw Enzo Fernandez heading soft headers into the box, then with his left foot, like sort of like lobbing, I was like, who are you crossing to? Like, it makes no sense. You put guys who are good technically, like João Pedro, you have Estevao, you have Neto in the box against these big guys. Let them dribble. Somebody's going to stamp their foot. Somebody's going to like put their leg in. We could have won a penalty. Like there are so many things that he could have done. Even Garnacho will dribble. Even Gittens will dribble. But constantly asking them to cross, like, I'm so annoyed that we lost today. Like, it's like ruined the entire weekend now, because I thought this is going to be easy. After we beat Liverpool, after we beat Ajax, the way we beat Ajax, I thought it's going to be easy. See, again, I love Tyreek George. I just think that when we are in a draw, there's nothing happening. Bringing that guy on is not changing anything. Yes, like when we are already winning, then bring him on, because he's still a young guy. I don't get, as an opposition team, I don't think anybody's fearful that, Tyreek George has come off the bench. So, like, for me, I just think that Maresca got it wrong in the substitutions. I just think that he messed up a little bit on that.
I hear
but
that.
We move on, like Andrew said, we move on and we look at the next game, and hopefully Dilap is back. I think for the Carabao Cup, he might play like a few minutes and then he's back for the next game. So let's see, hopefully.
I hear that. David, there's a super chat here that says the conversation needs to be had about Enzo. I assume they mean Fernandez. He's so overrated, it's not funny anymore. He might mean the manager, but I think he means Enzo Fernandez. What did you make of your midfielder's performance today?
He was really poor. Like, it was just really poor. He does this thing, and I don't know if anyone else gets really annoyed when players do this. You know, when your winger is like free, like he's got the space, he's running into it, and then a player plays a pass and they put like some backspin on it, and it slows down before it gets to the winger, and the fullback gets it. Enzo Fernandez is the master of that ball, and it annoys me so much, because sometimes Neto was free or Garnacho was free, and they're running through. and that pass just short, and then Reynaldo came in and took it away. I was like, but again, like I think what today highlights is that we really struggle if Plan A doesn't work, and I think the squad kind of highlights that we don't really have another option, because if the lap's fit, then maybe it's different. But with the lap out, our option at striker is Guiu or João Pedro. And we've kind of seen the whole João Pedro up front thing, and it doesn't really work. So Guiu, I actually don't mind Guiu playing, because I think he's a better option as a striker compared to João Pedro. It's just that he's obviously very limited in what he can do. And today highlighted that quite clear, because Sunderland played them very well. And Sunderland played the whole game really well. They just genuinely wanted it more than we did. But more than anything, they just wanted it more. Every time there was a second ball, they were there. Every time they were chasing after the ball, they were there. When we had breaks, when Garnacho hoofed it up to Neto and Garnacho's running onto it from that corner, there was 5 Sunderland players right behind him, all there. I'm sure if it was the other way round, when the ball gets hooked up to Robbery, the closest players to the ball were against Sunderland players. So that's just a matter of effort more than anything else. So again, Chelsea's a weird one. There's not much to win. There's nothing to worry about in terms of it's a bad loss. Everyone has bad losses. It's actually not the end of the world. But at the same time, these are issues that have been there for a while and we know about them. However, the club's philosophy doesn't mean that we're going to fix them tomorrow. Hence why people need to stop getting so high with Chelsea, so low with Chelsea, because these are young players who are still finding their way in football. And when people are like, oh, we're going to be a title race, I'm like, no, we're not. But when we lose a game, people are like, oh, we're finished, we're finishing 8th. It's like, no, we're not. We are perfectly fine. We've just had a bad day at the office. But I know there will be people out there going, oh, this player needs to stop playing football. That manager needs to get sacked. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? And it's just like, please, like,
which is why that super chat, David, that super chat Enzo Fernandez, that was a draft.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like he can have a bad game, but it's not the end of the world.
Every time there's even a mid game, he's so shit. He's so wrong. He's so overrated.
And the thing is, it's funny as well, because people
say anything. That guy wouldn't have said anything about Enzo's performances the last few games when he's played well. He wouldn't say anything. Just waiting for like that. It's just boring.
But it's funny because people act like Enzo doesn't get any flack, and it's like, no. When Enzo has one bad game, everyone
he gets the most. Never seen somebody like that.
The thing with Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, Palmer, these guys, whenever it's a big game, they will show up. They will always
offside,
show
David.
up. And
I can tell Terry's heart is on strings right now.
No, I hear you on that. This is from
we could have
Jez.
said anything then, and Terry would have missed it. We could have said anything.
Yeah. I don't have no idea what anyone's been saying for the last 5 minutes. I've been watching the game. Genuine question: can Maresca coach defense? And by that I mean defensive shape. Out of possession. It's lazy to speak about individual players. They just don't look great out of possession.
That is actually one of the things about the goal, actually. That is not coaching when 2 players are ahead of the halfway line. That is players are not aware and not focused in the game. Because no coach will ever tell his 2 players, the last 2 defenders, by the way, stay ahead of the halfway line so it won't be offside. He's never going to tell them. And experience and focus.
And against Man City, when Hall, I think it was Haaland who scored, it was the same thing. It was, again, Chalobah and somebody like together. They do the same thing again and again.
That's experience, bro. Nobody will convince you that the coach told his players to be ahead of the halfway line. That is impossible in football.
What he shouldn't have done is take Achimpong off.
Yes, I agree that he shouldn't have done that.
How many world class teams best centre back is 18?
Bro, it's nuts, you know. No, it's actually a problem though.
He's played.
But it's not.
Played well.
It's the intelligence though, to play
I hear
defense.
Played
It's
well.
a
Why
mindset
take
thing.
him
I
off?
keep telling you that Chelsea, the young
they
boys
shouldn't
don't
have
have
taken
the
him off.
mindset.
Don't
So
take
it's
him
like
off if he's
when
playing
you're
well.
when you
That's the thing.
when you're playing defense. I play defense. So when you play defense, right, and someone's doing that to you, Tottenham had him in a good position. What should have actually happened was that actually Chalobah should have been quick on him straight away. As soon as Tottenham's hold him up, you can double him up real quick and close the space immediately.
Did the right thing
because
for me.
he can only go on his right foot.
Thing.
He'd be coming left foot. That's all they
Tottenham's
need to
got
have.
goal side, which is the right thing.
It's when you're again, it's a team effort though. We all need everybody to contribute with a mindset because it's mostly it's a mindset. Because even if you're not a good, even if you're a good defender, if your team has a good,
he's actually very right
mindset,
because the guy that scored actually ran from his own half and no one was running with him.
mad.
The guy made like a
That's what I say,
70-yard run and everyone is watching him go to goal and everyone is just ball
That's
watching.
why I was shocked
It's
because
the
when you're watching on television, you're seeing Robbie hold the ball up, but you're not expecting a Sunderland player to come through with no one on him.
Precisely.
That's what you're not expecting to see happen at that moment. I was like, oh fucking hell, why is he the only guy there? But listen, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. I want to thank the super chatters. This is going to redirect you to
1-0.
This is going to redirect you to Hassan's channel. I'm watching it on TV. If that happens, I'm watching it on actual TV, so I'm not behind. I'm live after Man United Brighton, so make sure you're back here with this. This is going to redirect you to Hassan's channel. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. I'll see you soon. Peace.